A lot of the work that we talk about here in our engineering and research gathering, EngRes, is work that we're doing in our R&D program area. And this is a group that we've been building, a lot over the years, but we have formalized it into the kind of PL R&D group. This focuses on our field building, acceleration of technical domains, tech translation, and a lot of our grant making and research support, forecasting, tech trees, and helping teams do early stage venture formation such that they can then translate into later stages of the R&D pipeline. So this is kind of our work across all 4 focus areas, funding kind of the pre-commercial invention, but also tying together work that's happening in the R&D domain to the network programs that can help folks compound innovation and help their systems, products, companies, whatever it is, translate into larger scale venture ideas and capital investments. So just a quick update on where we are with PL R&D. This kind of connects in with the overall PL network of harnessing network programs and connecting R&D work into later stage capital investments. We aim to do a lot of our field momentum building and busting collective bottlenecks, growing talent, and helping folks connect to others within the PL network. Our focus right now is really booting up PL R&D as an org, helping staff it, and making sure it has kind of strong growth trajectories for both connecting field building seeds into later stage capital and orienting our network infra. And so we work with a ton of folks in this earlier stage of the pipeline, from large scale government organizations, DARPA, ARPA, ARIA, to philanthropic groups like Renaissance Philanthropy, Foresight, and then folks that are building FROs and other research accelerators like Convergent Research. And then we connect them into the capital stages of the pipeline as well. So that's a quick overview on what R&D is. Let's hear from each of the focus areas on what they have been seeing in the growth areas for each of these and ways that folks can get involved. Starting with Will.
So covering digital human rights, active things. The PL Genesis Hackathon is going as we speak and has a bunch of energy around that. And then the other sort of big grant thing that we have a bunch of conversations around is ARIA has a program around scaling trust, looking at how agent-to-agent communication can involve various types of trust. And so how do you get validation, verification, these sorts of properties in these larger scale networks? And so that ends up being an exciting thing to think about in the evolution of a bunch of the networking and Web3 contexts. There continue to be a lot of events. I've just listed a couple, but there's many more that you can find on the PL Network website and elsewhere. But there's Logos is running a Parallel Society event at the beginning of March, and Real World Crypto has a more cryptographic set of talks that will be happening out in Taiwan. And then there's a bunch of Ethereum stuff happening around San Francisco all the way between now and then sort of really culminating the week of March 9th. There will just be a bunch of excitement and stuff happening that will come out of San Francisco. Looking further ahead, DWeb Camp, which Internet Archive is pushing, but broadly covers a bunch of sort of decentralized web technologies, will be happening outside of Berlin in July, but is already starting to have a bunch of co-creation events for getting involved and making that useful. And then there's also a community privacy residency that will be happening that should have applications open again in July. Thank you.
Amazing. Some good gatherings. Exciting days. James or David, tell us what's new in our Better Economies and Governance Systems focus area.
Would be delighted to. Hey, everybody. Yes, super exciting on all things crypto, econ, and gov. I think a convergence at both the multilateral and government level around crypto infrastructure now finally being sovereign grade enough to transition from existing systems. So folks may have seen at Davos, there was a big announcement around Bermuda becoming the first on-chain economy. Filecoin Foundation signed a partnership with Bermuda, as obviously did Coinbase and Circle. So there's a lot of work going on there, and a lot of other countries, small and large, that are excited about seeing what wheels get turned there that they can apply to their own countries, and a number of new stacks that are starting to emerge around how we can transition digital public infrastructure onto crypto rails. Close to home on Protocol Labs, Hypercerts and Earth launched a new $1 million grants round, so do check that out. Folks have probably seen quite a lot of chatter from Vitalik around how we can start to think through agentic agents to improve governance. The AI for Public Goods grants round closes in a couple of days, so do get in for that early. The United Nations Development Programme's blockchain team have got a new doctrine that they've initiated, and then there's some partnerships with MetaGov and the Stanford Innovation Lab. Lots of exciting events coming up. Big convergence moment in SF mid-March, which FTC are obviously at the heart of, so I hope to see lots of you there. Edge City are running a sort of slightly smaller pop-up city in South Africa throughout the whole month. Lots of policy conversations happening in DC throughout March and April, as well as ETH events, the community one in Cannes and Zurich. And then Semaphore, which some of you may know is like a large, let's say, media outlet, have pulled together a new sort of global economies principles, and crypto and DPI is sitting at the core of that. So that's a quick tour de force. I'll briefly speak about two quick things which we'd love thoughts from the group on. First is what we've come up with as opportunity spaces or convergence zones, so very much inspired by ARIA, who come up with these high leverage opportunity spaces. We've put all of the work that FA2 covers, or FA2 being economies and governance, under 4 different buckets. The first is sovereign digital public infrastructure. The second is AI and crypto native public goods funding at nation scale. The third is crypto native governance and democracy. And the fourth is decentralized climate and infrastructure finance. We'd love any and all thoughts on the framing. So do these opportunity spaces feel like they resonate? Who are this sort of partners, institutions, teams, projects that we should be working with? And also we want to know where you think we're being wrong in our approach to building the field against these spaces. So all and any feedback is welcome. And finally, if you want to take it even further, we have mapped these opportunity spaces into what we're calling dependency graphs. So take a space like sovereign digital public infrastructure. A major inflection point might be that a nation state runs all their core systems on crypto rails and gains measurable advantage in doing so. Or to get there, what are the bottlenecks we currently need to address? Where do we as a field want to be at the end of this year? And then what sort of interventions or programs are we doing or applying to accelerate the field writ large? So do scan the QR code, check out the dependency graph. Big shout out to David who pulled this together, because it's way beyond my technical proficiency. And yeah, excited for any and all feedback from the group. Thanks very much.
Awesome work, and definitely love the way that we're kind of breaking down how progress is going to be happening within each of these focus areas. Focus Area 3, we don't yet have a full-time lead for Focus Area 3, so I'm standing in with a couple of highlights. From an exciting development perspective, I think a lot of people, if you're on Twitter, you've seen the crazy acceleration that's been happening in the long-running agent space, where folks are now running OpenClaw and similar agents that are kind of acting on their behalf, have their own kind of cron runtimes and long-running agent histories, and are starting to build tools and solve problems and own wallets and have all sorts of interesting economic activity in the world, including their own social networks and skills marketplaces and things like that, which has been a really exciting development for the kind of AI ecosystem. We've also seen a lot of progress happening on the robotics side. There was a big demonstration coming out of World Robot Conference in Beijing, just how much robotic capabilities and skills are getting better, especially in humanoid robots. But there's a really wide range of robotic skills and types that are growing quickly. And so it's amazing to see the acceleration both AI and robotics are having right now. Also on the AI side, there were a lot of agentic-oriented conversations, especially on the intersection of AI and Web3, thinking about how to empower agents with robust APIs, self-sovereign finance and infrastructure, and the tools to do kind of distributed inference and gain access to computing, storage, and connectivity resources so that this domain can keep scaling at the rate it currently is. So that was a big topic during some of the recent gatherings at EthDenver, at the Agentic Economy Hub, and the Agentic Brunch that was part of Ethereum's 8004 Genesis Month, which has been gathering a bunch of folks in different regions. But as folks were mentioning, San Francisco is hosting a bunch of these gatherings in the lead up to EthSF and Funding the Commons in the middle of March. So those are going to be some good gatherings to go to if you're curious about what the intersection of AI and Web3 is looking like. Some ways to get involved. PL Genesis is also a great place to, if you're looking to build in the AI or AI Web3 space. There's a lot of agent requests for startups. There's also a number of other agentic hackathons that are happening on DevSpot. I bet we'll hear from Andrew on that in the PL Infra side. But if you have your own OpenClaw agent running on your behalf, encourage it to enter into the PL Genesis hackathon or some of the other hackathons that are happening in the PL network so that it can compete for bounties on your behalf. Another way to get involved, participate in one of these growing robotics deep-in networks. BitRobot, for example, has started selling the RoboCap on robocap.io, which allows you to participate in an egocentric video collection data subnet, which can build up robotics training data based on the activities you're doing. So you can be part of training the robots to do even crazier and more impressive things in the near future. On FA4, I don't think we have a Sean. He mentioned there was a sickness in the family. So I'm going to cover briefly on our NeuroTech focus area. There's a lot happening here in the NeuroTech field, both from a R&D perspective and from new company formation, starting to translate some of the progress on the R&D side into real kind of investable company opportunities. We have a number of roadmaps that we've been working on with experts across the neurotech field that will be launching soon as part of the PL Neuro kind of like knowledge drop. There's also some really interesting position papers on things like cognitive dark matter and structure to function manifesto that folks should keep an eye out for. Really interesting, cutting edge thought processes and work being done here. There's also some new podcasts that you should definitely watch. Adam Marblestone was on Dorkesh a couple of weeks ago, had a fantastic conversation about neuro and the opportunities to be building FROs to really accelerate this domain. Definitely check that out. Ed Boyden had a great podcast on core memory, and Sebastian Sung also had a great one as well. So check out those podcasts. From an upcoming events, we have a great lineup of neuro events that is accelerating this spring. There's a connectomics workshop that's happening in April. In March, we have both Cosine and BrainMind that are happening almost back to back. I think both of those are in California. And then SFI, the Nature of Intelligence, is also going to be happening. You can catch Sean speaking there and at Winter Neuroscience in April. And then also look out for the CSHL AI for Bio. So lots of good upcoming events. If you're neuro curious, there's also a great webinar that will be up on the website shortly that can be a good introduction before you attend one of these events in person. All right, that's our rundown of focus areas. I'll pass it off to Andrew virtually dialing in or videoing in from Singapore to give us an update on what's happening on the PL Infra side of things. And let me know if the audio doesn't come through here, guys.
Hey everyone, Andrew here from Polaris. I'm excited to share some updates from across the PL network regarding upcoming programs that we have and things that you all should be aware of. First up, on the event side, we have a bunch of events happening across all focus areas in the coming months. The next major one that I think folks here will be interested in is Intelligence at the Frontier. This will be held in San Francisco in a couple of weeks. There is a hackathon that is being co-hosted by Funding the Commons and Polaris, as well as a number of demo day and VC-focused type events that will be hosted at the Frontier Tower. So if anyone is based in SF or will be there around that time, we would love for you to join us. Other Web3 focused events, there's EthCC, Token 2049, and EthConf happening in March, April, and June. PL will have a presence at each of these places. We'll likely do founders dinners at both Cannes and Dubai. And EthConf will be a more major activation. That's a new conference that ETHGlobal is hosting, and we're partnering with them on to host a Lab Week activation there. On the neuro side, Juan and Sean will be at Asilomar end of March, and then we're hosting a connectomics workshop in April on the East Coast to bring together some of the top experts in the connectomics field in neuro to come do some road mapping and workshopping. Other things that are happening, the PL Early Builders programs and working group has formed. There are a really large number of builder programs happening across the network. So that includes things that Polaris hosts themselves, as well as other things that are hosted by groups like Founder School, Crescimento, Starknet, and other network teams. We welcome anyone who's a builder in the space to come connect with us, join the hackathons, or some of our other residencies, fellowships, and accelerator programs. One in particular that is happening now is PL Genesis. This is our annual flagship hackathon that has bounties and prizes across all our focus areas. Please scan the QR code if you'd like to learn more or join and hear more. There are, I think, 15 network teams that are participating and have put up prizes and bounties. This is hosted on our own hackathon platform, DevSpot, and we had great success with it the last year with nearly 2,000 developers participating, and we expect even more this time. Last thing from me would be on PL Demo Day. So again, we hosted our first PL Demo Day last fall. It was very successful. We had more than 25 teams participate. And this time, same thing, we have more than 20 teams across AI, Web3, Neuro, and other deep tech. These span pre-seed all the way to Series A. The registration for this is already open. It starts in about 2-3 weeks. Later in H1, we'll be hosting several demo days for other teams in the network. So Founder School, Crescimento are hosting demo days on our platform to showcase their own startups. If you are an angel investor or if you know other angel investors, we welcome you to come participate. Check out the teams in the network and yeah, come support them. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Andrew. All right, over to some of our network spotlights, starting with Mosh from IPFS.
All right, so for IPFS, have a few fun things to share. For the first few years, and many of you probably know IPFS primarily as the big public network. Recently, we're finding that many users, including the fast-growing App Proto community, prefer to take subsets, so just CIDs or just private peer-to-peer clusters, and remix them with other choices that are specific to their domain. So a lot of the energy and new launches have been happening in this more modular pattern. So Web Tiles launched just a couple weeks ago. Lots of exciting uptake and chatter online. It is a pattern for composable, safe web docs and apps for social media, chat, agents, malleable software. It basically takes a lot of the composability and interoperability of browsers, but puts it in a safe environment. So check it out, webtiles.es. Another fun thing coming very soon, I think in about 2 months, is video specs. So again, like I mentioned, people are really wanting to take IPFS, make it work for their specific domain. There's a fast-growing team called Streamplace that is going to be writing S2PA and Muxel, which are two systems that bring content addressing to video. The last one is metadata, which is a project coming out of our collaborations with the scientific data community. The problem is, like, if a tree falls in the forest, no one's there to hear it. Did it really happen? If data is archived, but there's no decentralized, uncensorable way to find it, does it really exist? So we have a ton of amazing teams around the world archiving data with IPFS, but not able to find or publish it. And Metadata is a project focused on decentralized and impartial discovery, even in the case of institutions changing, leadership or different challenges like that. So those are three things. Let's go to the next slide. We've been at a bunch of events lately. Both Robert and I spoke at FOSDEM. We will be at Atmosphere Conf at the end of March. And lots of collaborators there. There's a great online series focused on the content addressing side of IPFS. There's a Luma link right there. Please come. It's been really fun. It alternates between more presentation formats and a working group discussion. And of course, our beloved Kubo just released 0.40 yesterday. A couple big things there, lots of memory and optimizations. And we also finally introduced CID profiles, which has been 10 months in the making and addresses the challenge where, if you've developed with IPFS, you probably run into the issue where depending on settings or implementation, you end up with a different CID. And that has been really hard for interoperability. And CID profiles is a naming system to address that. That's all.
Awesome. Congrats to the team. All right, Joanna, welcome and tell us a bit more about what's new in P2P land.
Hi everyone, I'm Joanna. For you that haven't met me, I am the strategy and operations lead for the core cell P2P. I work with Dave and Manu that can give you a quick wave. So we wanted to give you a little bit of information about what P2P is. So it's a peer-to-peer networking layer. We exist in layer 5. So just to kind of give you an idea, sorry, it's a little bit scrolled out there, where we reside in layer 5 here in the networking layer. And we support implementation in 10 different languages. So you want to move on to the next slide, please? Okay, so a little bit on ecosystem updates. Our R&D focus and new ecosystem initiatives. We launched the P2P annual report for 2025. You can take a look at the blog here. Manu's going to be sharing the links. Any comments or feedbacks, we welcome to share your feedback in the links that you can see here. We did, sorry.
Fixed? Better? Same?
Oh, perfect. Thanks a million.
Okay.
Sorry, okay, so we did an update to our website. You can just see a really quick screenshot there, the modular peer-to-peer networking stack, and just kind of highlights a lot of the networks that uses libp2p. Please check it out. We also have a feedback place where you can send your feedback about the website, and we'll share the link with you in a minute. We are going to activate a monthly roundup on our socials, so not keeping updates about libp2p in areas where it's not easily discoverable. So we want to share that on our socials on a monthly basis. Some libp2p R&D focus. So we've gossip sub performance improvements, cross implementation test pipelines, and Dave will talk a little bit more about that later. Updated specifications and governance process, NAT transversal improvements, browser compatibility enhancements, additional of Bluetooth transport. We're going to start with Rust and then followed on by Python, and developing Web3 clients as a testbed for dependency graphs. One area that Manu and myself are exploring is the area of business development in the DeFi and TradFi convergence, where we see there an opportunity to plug and play for off-chain and on-chain coordination. And we have some grants that we are exploring for this. We're also exploring other grants as well in the decentralized AI space as well. And we can update you in the next month's meeting. Some new ecosystem initiatives using libp2p. So one project with Uniswap, so Ethereum name service, native autonomous agents for decentralized coordination and on-chain execution. So you can check out the link to the GitHub, and there's also a demo there too. Some federated learning. So this is a decentralized machine learning training marketplace. You can check out the GitHub and the demo link also in the slide. And finally, ETH peer-to-peer flow emergency coordination and payment network using libp2p. And again, you can check out the GitHub repo. So anything that you see, this is a call out to anyone on the call. If you see an opportunity that you'd like to partner with us, we have an email at the top, a partner@libp2p. Please email, we check this regularly. Also, there's the Discord invite at the top of the slide. Sorry, I meant to talk a little bit about the annual report there. So on the side here, you can see, a little bit about our funders in 2025, what we're looking towards in 2026, and we will be giving a little bit more information about that in the following on meetings. I'm going to hand you over to Dave, and he will be running through the intro test. Thank you.
Thanks, Joanna. Okay. I am super happy to make a really crazy announcement today on two fronts. One, over the holidays, me and a small cadre of libp2p friends went underground to address some of the long-standing tech debt that had been lingering in our project. We are now, because of this this enhanced focus, I should say, on R&D, we needed to cover improvements on our testing framework and our website and reporting out the numbers and all that stuff, and taking the inspiration from Probe Lab. Their website is amazing. If you have never seen it before, go check it out. We have invested a lot of time over the last couple of months optimizing our testing framework, taking it much more seriously, scaling it, making it much more efficient. As of yesterday, we are now publishing those results of 2,350 interoperability tests daily on our website. So go check that out. It's libp2p.io/status. But the big announcement today, I'm actually wearing my crimson from University of Utah. Turns out there's a lot of friends of the PLN that are alum from the University of Utah. The University of Utah is a nexus of expertise in large-scale enterprise networking, and they maintain an NSF grant-funded supercomputer specifically for network scaling experiments. And through working the PLN and making friends and meeting with lots of people and convincing them that the libp2p OIF programs, grant programs, are for public good, we were able to gain access to this network. So what does that mean? We have 825 machines available to us to do scaling experiments that are not just 10 times the size, but 100 times the size of anything we've ever done in the past. So Farouk did a test on Gossip Sub last fall with 12,000 peers under simulation. We're looking at hundreds of thousands, potentially millions at this scale. I can't tell you how much of an opportunity this is. This is incredible. And the new testing framework that we've just put into place prepares us for doing this kinds of stuff. It's focused on being able to leverage a network like this to do our scaling experiments. So what does that mean? If you are on a project that uses libp2p and you want to see how it works at 100,000 peers, talk to me. We can make those experiments happen. There's a whole R&D focus here on agentic networks, scaling Gossip Sub, meeting that next scale for the Ethereum network, providing those resources and leading the charge on this R&D. So anyway, I am just pleased as punch that we have been able to get this access. This would cost us thousands of dollars per experiment if we had to pay for it on modern cloud platforms, and we get to use it for free. Thank you very much to Cloud Lab and the University of Utah. So that's it for libp2p. Back to you, Molly.
Super exciting. Congrats, guys. And please, everyone, take advantage of this to run your latest libp2p experiments. We should try and get the Probe Lab folks. I know they wanted to do a lot of performance and interrupt testing to take advantage. All right, handing it over to Sejal to talk about the PhilPTF network latest and some of the stuff from ETH Boulder last week.
Yep. Hi, everyone. So yeah, as we all know, PhilPGF has two programs, Pro PGF and Retro PGF. Pro PGF is proactive milestone-based funding, and Retro PGF is retro funding, as the name suggests, where we reward the impact, proven impact. And so current state of the programs, we just wrapped up batch 2 general track, and we distributed $3.2 million to 16 projects. You can check philpgf.io, which is, by the way, going to be the home for all the programs. So you can anytime go and check Filecoin PGF programs there. And we will soon release a blog with more details on what projects are accomplishing to do. Retro PGF, 4th round coming up in March. You can again check philpgf.io for all the details for 4th round for Retro. And yeah, sorry for the too much information on one slide, but I hope we can cover everything. Yeah, Pro PGF2, again, just to give you like a quick sense on the numbers, we received 102 projects, which is actually insane. We broke our own record. I think in the last round we had, I guess, 30 to 40 projects, or maybe like around 50 that applied. So definitely like a huge jump. We shortlisted 53, and then 42 projects advanced to final review. We have a selection committee of 12 people. Huge kudos to them. This was impossible without them. And then they reviewed the projects, negotiated, did back and forth everything that was needed in 3 weeks. We had 16 teams that were finally given the funding. And like I mentioned, some of the projects you can already see here that were funded, and there are more you can see on the website. I do want to say like it's definitely, there are a lot of projects that we feel could be really good for network, which we could not fund. So we are also parallelly working on a separate grant, which is going to be outside of Pro PGF, which we will reach out to projects for that, which is probably going to be growth grant for the network. And then there's little chart timeline below, which is Retro timeline. So round 3 just got wrapped up. As you can see in the middle in the right, 585K fill has been allocated, and the top projects you can see that were funded in this, the allocation is still happening. 2 tranches have been done. We are in the 3rd tranche for Retro. Tom couldn't make it to the call, so I'm just like speaking on his behalf. So we will have the 3rd tranche going out soon. And like I said, round 4 for Retro coming up in March. So please keep an eye out and make sure you apply. Now you can see on the right, so I actually put the image of whiteboard. So this was a session that we did with Open Source Observer. We recently collaborated with them at PLFIF. As you can see, the amount of funding that is going out in PGF program, a big thing is accountability and how we are really evaluating the impact of the projects that we are funding, right? So there are different approaches to that. It is not straightforward because a lot of projects you cannot directly attribute to the metrics or the KPIs, right? So we need a proper roadmap and a strategy for that. So that is what we are working with Open Source Observer. We have a first draft on what that would look like, but once that finalizes, we will officially publish our approach of impact evaluation of the programs. But EthDenver was a great starting point and sort of helped us ground on this. We're calling this a fill mapper. But yeah, still not officially like revealing it unless we publish it. So that is the collaboration with OSO. Second is we also did a PGF track. Very happy to say that I think this was something that has never been organized before, which is nobody really talks about top of the funnel or sustainability or the sources of funding, right? It's mostly allocation, but that's where we need to shift the focus as PGF in this space. So this was the first track we organized with Kevin Iwaki, who hosted EthDenver, and it was great. Definitely I can share the videos if anybody is interested. We have the videos as well at EthDenver YouTube. And then third is coming out of it, we also decided upon doing a research retreat where we think that we can actually have some focus time with researchers and people who can come up with like ideas around sustainability, because we really need more of that, more thinking there. And good part is like Ethereum Foundation has already committed co-funding for that, and Octant also reached out and they want to co-fund. So it's going to be 3 of us doing that. Hopefully this work will be in close collaboration with Focus Area 2 because it quite overlaps there. And that's what we will aim to do in the end of the year. And hopefully whatever comes out of it can be actually piloted in the network and see, what works and what doesn't work. So yeah, like I think we're on a good path to actually, as you can see in the bottom right image, like how do we fund the public goods in the Filecoin network through the treasury, putting all the ways possible to do that so that we can move towards a sustainable source. Happy to answer any questions for PGF. Thank you.
Thanks, Sajal. On to Omar. Tell us what's new with Starknet and how folks can get involved.
Hey everyone, nice to meet you, and I'm very happy to be here. And Also, let me turn on my camera. Uh, Also, I was just telling a couple colleagues how much I love the Protocol Labs ecosystem and happy to be here and contribute more. So this is the first time, maybe not the first time, but it's at least the most recent time that we've been participating in the hackathon. So please go into the hackathon, build something with the Starknet and Protocol Labs. I think there's a lot of symbiosis in what we're building in the way that we think about the decentralized world and how we approach it. So yes, please go and build something there. There's a lot of things that is happening in the Starknet ecosystem. Just today, we launch a new wrapper for Bitcoin that is completely private. So it's called Stark BTC. So it was launched today. I think it's something very interesting. So we are focusing a lot on privacy part and also in Bitcoin. And the hackathon from our side is also focusing on that part. So yes, I'm wondering what can people build using IPFS, lib P2P, Filecoin, etc., using privacy and Bitcoin. Let's see what happens. So yes, for example, here we have EY Nightfall being built for private payments in Starknet, layer 0 integration. There, we have a full private pool live on mainnet, etc. So yes, a lot of new improvements. You can also check these two. Yes, the Star BTC will be very good. And yes, what else? So we have these two prover right now being very efficient, being used for very interesting projects in the decentralized AI ecosystem. For example, right now I'm working in a working group with Davide from I saw you mentioned him before. So we're trying to build kind of like a zero knowledge credits for API providers or LLMs, for example. We're trying an integration with Cairo and the Stuprover because it's, as far as I know, the best way to use Stark proofs. So it's something that, I don't know, we're doing a lot of experimental stuff. I think the Stark stack is very good. And yes, sorry, a lot of information in a couple of minutes, but yeah, any questions you can please tag me. I will add my Telegram here in the chat. And thank you very much for inviting me.
Amazing. Thank you for coming. If there's anything in particular that you want people to hack on during the PL Genesis hackathon, any requests for projects that you'd be
Yes,
really excited about?
that's a great question. So I would say our main priority right now is the intersection between privacy and Bitcoin. I'm wondering how can we get this also done with IPF. I would be very interested with something with IPFS plus these two or one of those, like privacy with IPFS or Filecoin, something. So I don't know. I think people here will be having better ideas than mine, but our focus is in privacy and Bitcoin right now.
Awesome. Cool. It's a good prompt. And maybe Mott and Robin can make sure that
Are you just looking at one comment here?
cool hacks with Starknet and privacy.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. To wrap us up, LaCrista, I know we've talked about some of the network events we've been having to showcase and get folks excited about joining us at future events.
Definitely come and join us at Intelligence at the Frontier. I think a significant presence from us there. And we're always reviewing what our presence is going to look like. So we'll see what EthCC looks like, but I think you'll also see a lot of us at EthConf and Token 2049. So keep an eye out on the Telegram groups. When you see the new groups come across for event, like specific event groups, join them, see who else is coming, add yourself to the IRL page in the directory, and you can start connecting with folks prior to the event.
Perfect. I will say I was playing around with the PL Network events website literally just this morning to figure out when and where Funding the Commons was going to be. So definitely recommend checking that out and registering for the events that you're going to be at so that you can start coordinating with other folks that are going to be at the same gatherings. The events website is great at showing you people that you might want to grab some one-on-one time with while you happen to be in person in the same place. So check it out. Amazing. Cool. Well, that wraps our EngRes The Gathering a little bit early. So if folks have any time, any Q&A, any other things that they want to follow up on, we can use that space here. But let's keep building an amazing future that we all are excited for and building it together. Excited to work with all y'all.